Unlock the miraculous wealth code. Attract love, sacred miracles, and divine abundance in 40 days. In the quaint village of Hopewell, nestled among rolling emerald hills, the sun whispered secrets of divine abundance through rustling leaves. Sarah, a devoted mother with unwavering faith, found her heart aching as the weight of despair settled upon her family. Her husband, once a beacon of stability, had unexpectedly lost his job. Bills piled high like mountains, threatening to bury their dreams. Yet, even amidst the chaos, Sarah harbored a steadfast belief in the power of prayer. With a determined heart, she resolved to embark on a 40-day prayer journey, seeking not only financial prosperity, but also a deep rekindling of love within her home. The first day of her sacred quest dawned, enveloped in a golden glow. As Sarah knelt beside her bed, words flowed like honey from her lips, infused with faith and hope. "Lord, grant us strength and provision," she whispered, feeling a warm breeze dance around her, as if heaven itself was wrapping its arms around her. But not everyone in the village shared her enthusiasm. Mrs. Thompson, her skeptical neighbor, observed from afar with a raised eyebrow, chuckling softly. "Prayers won't pay the bills, dear," she scoffed, cutting through Sarah's moment like thunder. Yet Sarah bowed her head, clinging to her belief that miracles were but a prayer away. As she climbed into the attic one fateful afternoon, a long-forgotten family heirloom caught her eye, a delicate silver locket, dust-covered but shimmering with potential. She opened it gently, revealing the initials of her ancestors, and a flood of warmth filled her soul. This moment reignited something deep within her, a flicker of hope illuminating the darkness. Her son, wide-eyed and beaming, exclaimed, "Mom, it's a treasure, just like the ones in stories." The locket buzzed with energy, and Sarah could feel the hum of encouragement vibrating in her heart. Before long, disaster struck again. Overdue bills loomed ominously, and desperation seeped into their cozy home. As shadows flickered in the candlelight one evening, Sarah gathered her family. With trembling hands, she recounted the sacred prayer of St. Jude, patting their shared hearts with faith. They prayed together, the air thick with emotion. Tears of relief and joy mingled as their spirits united, growing stronger as one. Hope surged. A magnificent divine presence wrapped around them like a cocoon. Night fell heavily as the village's prayer service approached. Sarah sat with her fellow villagers in the tranquil church, anticipation electrifying the air. Testimonies of faith flowed like a raging river, and her heart danced with each tale of hope. Suddenly, amidst the whispers, a young woman was healed, standing like a new dawn before the congregation. Gasps filled the room, and Sarah felt her spirit soar, invigorated by witnessing the supernatural. As the meeting continued, she sensed eyes on her. It was Mrs. Thompson, standing at the back of the church, tears brimming as she listened intently. In that moment, the villagers were uniting in prayer, arms raised toward the heavens, and Sarah's heart burst with anticipation. Could her prayers inspire not just her life, but also touch the heart of her neighbor who once doubted? The congregation's voices rose in fervor. Was a miracle brewing in their midst? As morning light poured into her home, Sarah awoke with a renewed spirit. The echoes of the prayer service lingered in her heart like a gentle song, reminding her of the power of unity. She felt emboldened, ready to face the day with a prayer on her lips and hope in her heart. After breakfast, she gathered her children in the living room, their innocent faces glowing with curiosity. "Today," she announced, "we will find ways to share our blessings." At her words, their eyes brightened, and the atmosphere seemed to thrum with possibility. Together, they wrote down acts of kindness they could perform in their village, small gifts of love that could light up even the darkest corners. With each suggestion, the children's laughter filled the air. A warm meal for Mrs. Thompson, a helping hand for Mr. Jenkins, and sweet flowers picked from their garden to gift to anyone in need of a smile. Sarah felt the heaviness of despair lift just a little as she watched her children's eagerness blossom. They spent the morning preparing food, filling bags with love and compassion, and wrapping wildflowers with care. As they walked through the village, hands intertwined, people they met responded to their kindness with radiant smiles. Each warm encounter was like a ripple of grace spreading outwards, filling the air with love. When they reached Mrs. Thompson's doorstep, Sarah took a deep breath, praying for courage and compassion. The old woman answered, her face softening in surprise when she saw the gifts. "Sarah, I didn't know you cared," Mrs. Thompson murmured, her voice suddenly vulnerable. "Thank you, dear." And in that moment, Sarah witnessed a shift, not just in Mrs. Thompson, but also in herself, as walls of doubt began to crumble. She offered a heartfelt prayer for her neighbor right there on the front porch, their hands joined in faith. Days turned into weeks, and each act of kindness opened doors to miracles Sarah never anticipated. Support came from unexpected sources. A neighbor offered a part-time job for her husband. The church community, inspired by Sarah's unwavering faith, started a donation drive to help with their debts. Miracles began to unfold before her eyes, guiding her with a spirit of abundance she had only dreamed of. Yet amidst the joy, doubt still lingered in the shadows. What if it all slipped away? What if the miracle was just a fleeting dream? These thoughts clawed at the edge of her heart, but prayer anchored her. One quiet evening, as twilight draped itself over the village, she huddled in her favorite spot, an oak tree behind their home, a sanctuary of years past, with the locket resting against her heart. "Lord, I believe," she whispered, "but help my unbelief." The words flew skyward like a plea. Suddenly, a gentle wind rustled the branches above, and she felt the presence of something greater. In that moment, the locket shimmered under the twilight glow, illuminating a path she hadn't seen before. It became a symbol, a promise of miracles still to come. As she closed her eyes, envisioning a future filled with love and abundance, Sarah understood. Faith wasn't about certainty, but rather trust in the unseen. Just then, she remembered a prayer her mother had taught her as a child, a forgotten code for unlocking divine blessings. A new excitement swelled in her chest. What could this mystery hold? What lay ahead on her journey? Would the prayer reveal deeper treasures of faith? As new days approached, Sarah felt the thrill of anticipating the miraculous in every moment. Would her heart be prepared to embrace the revelations to come? The days unfolded like petals in spring, each one bringing with it a new opportunity for Sarah and her children to share their light. They had become something of a beacon in the village, their kindness sparking not just joy, but a sense of community that had been dormant for too long. They discovered that when they reached out, the hands that grasped theirs were often filled with stories of hidden heartache, ripe for healing. One afternoon, as they gathered at the corner of Blossom Lane, Sarah noticed the old fountain that had long been dry, a relic of a time when laughter and life danced around it. She felt a prompting, a whisper in her spirit, urging her to restore its beauty. "What if we could make this fountain flow again?" she mused aloud. Instantly, her children's faces lit up with excitement. "We can clean it!" shouted little Timmy, his enthusiasm infectious. "And plant flowers all around," Maria added, already dreaming of the blossoms that would soon spring to life. As they put their plan into motion, something shifted in the air. Villagers began to gather, curious about the commotion. Sarah could feel the flutter of hope and a sense of renewed purpose igniting in their hearts. They rolled up their sleeves, pulling weeds, scrubbing the stone, and filling buckets with fresh water. Each splash resonated with laughter and shouts of encouragement. In those moments, as they labored together, Sarah sensed the spirit moving. A hush would occasionally fall, only to be broken by bursts of shared stories and laughter. Old friends became new allies, and the village began to pulse with a rhythm of unity. People brought their tools and talents, sharing in the workload, but also in the joy of cooperation. Amid the bustle, Sarah noticed Mrs. Thompson helping to set the base for the flower beds. The elderly woman spoke softly as she worked. "You know, Sarah, it's been years since I've felt part of something like this." Tears shimmered in her eyes, reflections of the fountain's potential that mirrored her own. As twilight approached, they stepped back to admire their creation. The fountain, once barren and broken, now stood proud. It radiated beauty, a symbol of renewal that echoed the love they had poured into its restoration. Sarah felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. In that moment, she recognized something profound. When faith meets action, miracles are birthed. As they shared in the awe of their success, Sarah felt compelled to offer a prayer. She gathered everyone's hands, her heart full. "Lord, thank you for the gift of this community. May we always remember that we are stronger together." Her voice was steady, yet her heart raced with a beautiful anticipation. But just then, as she closed her eyes, the sunset painted the sky in hues of gold and rose. Wisps of clouds seemed to shimmer, and Sarah felt a stirring deep within her spirit. What was this? A deeper sense of purpose began to unfurl, a mystery yet to be revealed. She opened her eyes to find the villagers watching her with expectation, their faces glowing not just with the light of the setting sun, but with something more profound. Could it be? Was this the moment she had been waiting for? Sarah exhaled slowly, basking in the unfolding mystery, knowing that she was on the cusp of something greater, a journey that would take them to new realms of faith and divine provision. She could hardly contain the excitement bubbling within her. Would this ancient prayer unlock the next chapter of their blessings? What other secrets of divine abundance lay just beyond the horizon? It was time to discover the answer. As the last rays of sunlight danced on the horizon, a warmth enveloped the villagers, and a palpable energy crackled in the air. Sarah looked at the faces around her, eyes filled with wonder, hearts open wide. There was an unspoken agreement among them, a collective pulse that resonated like the heartbeat of the earth itself. "What do you think it is?" whispered Maria, nestled against her mother's side. "I think it's something just for us," Sarah replied softly, glancing at the fountain, now glistening as if kissed by divine favor. "Maybe it's an invitation to see beyond what we have known." At that moment, a gentle breeze whispered through the trees, carrying with it a sweet fragrance. It seemed to beckon them closer. Sarah took a step toward the fountain, her heart racing like a drumbeat, filled with expectation. "Everyone!" she called, placing her hands on the stone. "What if this fountain is a symbol for more than we can see? What if it holds the key to unlocking our dreams, our hopes, our faith?" A murmur spread through the crowd. The villagers shuffled closer, leaning in as if they could hear the secrets the fountain might share. "I've had dreams," spoke Mrs. Thompson, her voice trembling. "But I've buried them so deep. I didn't believe they mattered." There was silence, thick with the weight of shared despair and unfulfilled desires. In that moment, Sarah felt a divine urgency. She lifted her arms toward the sky, drawing strength from an unseen source. "Lord, we ask you for renewal. Show us our potential, our purpose." Suddenly the air shimmered, and a soft melody seemed to flow from the fountain, a song of hope that wrapped around them. It felt like each note flickered with a promise of joy. The villagers looked at one another, wonder dawning in their eyes. "What if we each wrote down a dream?" Timmy suggested, his innocent enthusiasm igniting a spark. "Then we can come back and put them in the fountain." "That's beautiful," Sarah replied, her heart swelling. "Like a well of possibilities, each drop of water that flows could carry our hopes." Quickly they found scraps of paper and pens, each person eager to pour their thoughts into the fountain, a flood of aspirations, wishes of healing, desires for change. The fountain became a sacred space, a living testament to their dreams. As night fell, lanterns flickered to life, casting a warm glow over the gathering. They took turns sharing their dreams aloud, their voices rising like incense. "I want to start a garden to feed those in need," a young woman shared, her cheeks flushed with excitement. "I dream of teaching the children how to read," another chimed in, passion lighting up their countenance. With each shared desire, the atmosphere grew thick with possibility. The laughter of children, the tears of the elderly, and the deep sighs of hope echoed around them, weaving a tapestry of community unlike anything they had felt before. In the midst of the unfolding joy, a flicker of doubt clawed at the corners of Sarah's heart. Was this all too much? Could they transform these dreams into reality? Yet, as she stole a glance at the fountain, it pulsed gently, a constant reminder of the divine capacity they had to create beauty out of brokenness. Then, Sarah felt the stirring once again, stronger this time. What if this is just the beginning, she thought, her mind racing with possibility. Could one prayer ignite a movement? Could their collective faith bring forth miracles beyond their imaginations? The night was still, as the last words of their dreams faded into the night air. Then, all fell silent, as if the entire world awaited with bated breath. What would be the next revelation from the fountain? What divine plans were already unfolding? The mystery lingered, enticing them to explore what they had stirred within their hearts. The air turned electric with expectation as the last echo of their dreams hung in the silence, bathing the gathering in a sacred hush. Each villager stood in reverence, captivated by the fountain that seemed more alive than ever, its waters gleaming under the glow of the lanterns. Sarah took a deep breath and felt the weight of hope pressing against her chest. Will it answer us? She wondered. The soft melody had subsided, yet the energy felt like the whisper of promises yet to be fulfilled. In that moment, she realized they were not just sharing dreams. They were inviting the divine to weave their lives into a beautiful tapestry. "We should return tomorrow," Sarah said, breaking the silence. "We can pray together and let the fountain guide us in our journey." A wave of agreement rippled through the crowd, each face brimmed with anticipation. They gathered their belongings, but not before one last glance at the waters. As they parted ways, Sarah lingered for a moment. The water shimmered, and she could have sworn she saw images reflecting in its depths. Gardens blooming, children learning, laughter shared. It felt almost as if the fountain was urging her to trust in the unseen pathways leading them forward. The next morning dawned with a freshness that invigorated the village. Each person woke with their heart a little lighter, their dreams echoing in their minds. Could dreams hold the power to reshape their destinies? At daybreak, families trickled towards the fountain, clutching their papers like fragile treasures. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation, the morning light shimmering on the surface of the water like a hopeful promise. Sarah led the way, her heart beating strongly with possibility. Gathering around, they each found a space and began to unfold their aspirations. As they placed their dreams within the fountain, warm tears of joy and gratitude spilled forth. It felt sacred. It felt like a communion. From the back, Timmy shouted, "I want to be a hero! I want to help people!" His simple declaration sparked a wave of joy, spreading smiles and nods among the villagers. One after another, they shared their dreams openly. "I will bake bread for those who are hungry," said an elderly man with trembling hands. "I will organize cleanup days for our community," said another. Each dream added to the weight of hope hanging in the air. The fountain seemed to pulse, resonating with their collective intentions. In that beautiful moment, it wasn't just about aspirations, it was a reminder of their unity, their shared faith. Just then, a gentle breeze swept through, swirling around them, carrying the laughter and the words like a sweet offering to the heavens. It felt as if the very spirit of their dreams was soaring upward, propelled by their faith. Was this the beginning of something greater? Would their dreams culminate in a tangible transformation within their lives? The possibilities filled the air like ripe fruit hanging heavy on the branches, waiting for hands to reach out. Now, with the sun reaching its zenith, the villagers felt a unity born out of their vulnerability. A stillness enveloped the fountain, and for the first time, They felt it truly listening, sensing a deep calling to act upon their dreams. "What's next for our community?" Sarah asked, her heart racing at the thought. She gazed at the fountain, wondering what vital signs of life lay ahead. But as she watched, the water began to swirl, creating a dance of reflections and colors that mesmerized all who looked. What message does it hold for us now, she thought, her curiosity ignited. What revelation would emerge next from the depths of the fountain? Where would faith lead them from here? The air was thick with expectancy, inviting them to step deeper into the unknown. As the villagers stood, entranced by the dancing waters, a collective breath of wonder passed through them. The swirling colors seemed to tell stories, their vivid shades forming images both familiar and strange. Was that a child embracing a puppy? A woman handing bread to a stranger? Each sight pulled at their hearts, igniting dreams into passion. "Look!" Timmy pointed, his voice filled with awe. It's showing us our future." Sarah felt the rush of energy swell around her. She stepped closer to the fountain, the cool mist a welcome touch against her flushed cheeks. "Perhaps it's not just dreams. Perhaps it's also guidance," she suggested, her voice steady, yet tinged with excitement. "Guidance," echoed several villagers. The powerful word ignited a spark of anticipation, as if a forgotten door in their souls had creaked open. Amidst the crowd, old Mr. Jenkins squinted at the swirling water, straining to understand its revelations. "How can it guide us?" he asked, his voice shaky but earnest. "We are but simple folk." Sarah turned toward him, catching his gaze. "We are not simple at all. We are people full of dreams and love. If we trust in each other and the fountain, we can find our own way," she affirmed, her heart racing with the certainty of her words. The villagers nodded in agreement. They had shared their dreams, but now they realized they had shared so much more, a willingness to believe. Just as the thoughts coalesced, a deep melodic sound rippled from the fountain, growing louder and clearer. It was a chant, ancient and wise, echoing through their hearts. Each note felt like a call from the divine, an invitation to something more profound. "What is the fountain trying to tell us?" Sarah whispered, for she could sense that this was a pivotal moment. Suddenly, the water shifted dramatically, forming a spiral that pulled their attention. Images played like a film, revealing the villagers assisting one another, fixing roofs, planting gardens, sharing laughter over meals. The scenes glowed with warmth, and Sarah felt a deep unity forming, bolstered by shared love and service. "There's beauty in togetherness," she breathed, her spirit soaring. "Let's not just dream," she urged, turning to the villagers. "Let's take action. The fountain shows us our potential, but we must nurture it together." An excited murmur spread like the blooming of spring flowers. As if compelled by an unseen hand, villagers began to step forward, each with a new sense of purpose. "I'll lead a community garden," someone exclaimed. "And I will create an art group for our kids," chimed another. Sarah watched with overjoyed disbelief. They were awakening. It was happening before her very eyes. Yet, just as hope filled the air, a sudden stillness fell over the gathering again. The fountain's waters calmed, forming a reflective surface that mirrored the faces of every villager, a tapestry of hope and promise interwoven with uncertainty. "What will it cost us to be transformed?" an unexpected voice called out, cutting through the charged air. Sarah felt the weight of that question resonating within her spirit. What were they willing to sacrifice for their dreams? What would they have to confront within themselves? The fountain, in silent response, shimmered once more, signaling that the journey was only just beginning. Now a deeper question hung in the air. What truths lay hidden, waiting to be unearthed as they ventured forth? Could their faith withstand the trials ahead? The villagers glanced among themselves, a mix of determination and trepidation. The fountain might hold the answer, yet they understood they needed to seek it collectively. As the sun began its descent, painting the sky with the colors of possibility, Sarah felt a stirring inside her, an anticipation of the miraculous yet to come. What transformations awaited them beyond the ripples? Would their willingness to step into the unknown unlock greater divine abundance? The mystery beckoned, waiting just beyond the horizon of their faith. The days that followed were alive with laughter and hard work. The villagers rallied around their purpose, their hearts knit together by dreams shared and tasks forged in newfound hope. They gathered at the fountain at dawn, offering their time, energy, and creativity to the vision growing within their community. Timmy stood wide-eyed each morning, enchanted by the waters. "Look at the colors!" he would shout, his fingers stretching toward the fountain, as vibrant hues illustrated scenes of unity and service. The fountain had become a mirror reflecting their ambitions, pushing them toward a brighter tomorrow. "Today, we plant the garden," Sarah announced one sunny morning, fixing her gaze on the eager crowd. The villagers rallied, arms full of seeds and tools. She could feel the thrill of possibility building, each heartbeat matching the rhythm of their collective purpose. In the field where they planted, laughter flowed like water. "Let's plant in rows or in circles," one child piped up, while another artistically scattered seeds, creating designs that evoked their dreams. The sound of chattering voices, rustling leaves, and gentle laughter blended harmoniously. It was a symphony of hope, one that echoed the inspirations drawn from the fountain. Sarah noticed a ripple of connection growing among the villagers. They were becoming a tapestry of strength. However, beneath this joy, shadows flickered. Old Mr. Jenkins struggled to keep up, wincing with each bend to the earth, his hands shaking slightly as he sifted through the soil. When Sarah noticed, concern washed over her. "Mr. Jenkins, are you all right?" she asked gently, kneeling by his side. "Ah, my dear, it's harder to keep pace now," he sighed, a tremor of vulnerability in his voice. "But the fountain, it's stirring something in me. I want to be part of this." "Your wisdom is part of what we need," she assured him, her heart swelling. "We all have something to offer, regardless of our strength. Let's find a way to lift each other." Their conversation, though brief, echoed into the hearts nearby, igniting a desire to support him. They banded together, ensuring Mr. Jenkins was not left out, but cherished for his insight and cherished experience, a testament to the power of community. Days turned into weeks, and they transitioned from planting seeds to unearthing treasures of cooperation. The fountain, at times chaotic, slowly transformed from a mere source of visions to an active participant in their journey, each ripple resembling their collective heartbeat. Yet, as joy flourished, fear lurked somewhat quietly. When dusk arrived, some villagers felt the weight of the sacrifices they were making. What had they given up? Time? Comfort? Security? The gentle rustle of the water seemed to reflect this inner turmoil back to them. "There are moments when we feel lost, even within all this togetherness," Sarah whispered to the villagers around the fountain one evening, nervousness creeping into her voice. "But we must remember." Suddenly, the waters erupted in a grand display. The colors swirled in vibrant arcs, illuminating the darkness of their uncertainty. Each glance at the fountain, a reminder that they were not only building a garden, they were cultivating faith and transforming within while reflecting the beauty of their shared journey. As the vibrant images captured their attention, a thought struck deep within Sarah's heart. Maybe the fountain isn't just showing us our potential. Perhaps it's revealing the deeper truths we need to confront within ourselves to unlock what it means to be truly transformed. The air hummed with anticipation as villagers absorbed her sentiment. They felt something profound stirring, as if the fountain was not merely a witness, but a bridge into their own divine revelations. Would a deeper understanding reveal their true call? What were the challenges still hidden beneath the surface, waiting for them to dare to confront? As the stars began to dim in the evening sky, the villagers, filled with both excitement and nervousness, embraced the invisible tapestry of community forged at the fountain. They stood, united, knowing that within the waters lay not just reflections, but aspirational truths waiting to be unveiled. But could they find the courage to dive deeper into their own hearts before seeking the next miracle? The mornings passed in radiant bursts of color as the villagers immersed themselves in the work. Each sunrise brought renewed energy, rekindled hopes, and a bond forged in effort and laughter. The garden took shape, an embodiment of their collective spirit, rising from the earth like a promise fulfilled. Children chased butterflies, and laughter danced in the air, while the fountain shimmered, echoing their joy. Yet, within this vibrant tapestry, an undercurrent of tension stirred. Sarah felt it, an unspoken urgency clinging to the edges of their sunlight. One afternoon, seated by the fountain and gazing at the hues reflecting its depths, she sensed a deeper calling unfolding. It was as if the fountain, now so entwined in their lives, was whispering truths yet to be discovered. "Gather around," Sarah called out softly, her voice cutting through the playful chaos. The villagers turned, their faces curious, drawn into the warmth of her presence. "I sense there is more we must explore together." Intrigued, they formed a circle, their eager faces illuminated by both sunlight and curiosity. Once again, Sarah looked deeply at the dancing waters. "We've planted seeds in the earth. But what seeds are sown in our hearts?" A pause fell over them, filled with the weight of her words. Timmy, sensing the gravity, tilted his head. "Do you mean emotions? Are there things in our hearts we haven't planted yet?" "Yes, Timmy," she replied, encouraged by his insight. "Perhaps we must tend to the gardens within us. What fears do we hold? What hopes are buried? It's not just about the flowers. It's about the growth we each nurture inside." A murmur swept through the villagers. Faces reflected a mixture of curiosity and hesitation. Old Mr. Jenkins leaned forward, his wise gaze steady and searching. "Dearest Sarah, sometimes the roots of our fears dig deep and cling tight to us. It takes courage to uproot them." "Exactly," Sarah exclaimed, her heart racing with excitement. "Together, we can face whatever lies beneath the surface. Just as we unite in planting, we can unite in confronting the challenges. It's time to look into our own waters and see what reflections show us." As if answering her call, the fountain shimmered brighter, and colors cascaded like a waterfall of light. The villagers took a collective breath, feeling the swell of courage rise in their chests. The waters seemed to pull their attention, deepening their conviction that transformation lay just beneath the surface, awaiting the bravery to surface and shine. "Let's do this," Sarah encouraged, her own heart pounding with a mix of determination and trepidation. "Let's share our stories, our fears. We are not alone." One by one, villagers opened up. A woman shared her worry about her aging parents, while a young man revealed his fear of never finding his place in the world. Each story, unfolding like petals, stirred empathy and connection among them. "Hear how we mirror each other's struggles," Sarah said, her voice reflecting warmth. "In vulnerability, we find strength. Together, we can uproot the darkness and plant seeds of light for healing." As dusk approached, the sky deepened into a rich tapestry of purple and gold. Hope seemed to hum through the air. The community sat, clasped hands, reflecting on the faces around them, faces intertwined in purpose, love, and renewed commitment to illuminate not only their garden, but their hearts as well. But in the depth of unity and healing, would they discover an unexpected mystery buried within themselves? Something so powerful it could change not only their lives, but the life of the village forever. As the stars glittered above, the fountain whispered secrets, inviting them to dive deeper still. As twilight enveloped the village, a soft hush fell over the gathered souls. The flickering fireflies began their dance, casting playful shadows against the backdrop of the slowly darkening sky. Sarah glanced around, her heart swelling with a mixture of vulnerability and hope. The fountain's shimmering waters reflected the countless stars above, each one a spark of promise for what was yet to come. "Do you feel that?" she asked, her voice a tender thread weaving through the silence. "There's a pulse of something greater at work among us, something divine." Her eyes sparkled, urging them to lean into this energy. Old Mr. Jenkins stroked his beard thoughtfully. "Sometimes the most powerful forces are the ones we cannot see." Sensing a movement of curiosity, Sarah pressed on. "What if our stories, our fears, are not just ours to bear? What if they are part of a tapestry woven into the essence of this village? Together, we can unlock something miraculous." As she spoke, the villagers began shifting, eager to connect their stories to something larger. Mary, a gentle soul known for her kindness, broke the stillness. "I often feel as though love eludes me. No matter how much I give, it sometimes seems to recede like the tide." Her voice trembled, and with it the air grew thick with shared emotions, each heart echoing her longing. "Love, my dear Mary, is a seed," Sarah replied, lifting her gaze to the fountain. "When we feel it slipping away, perhaps it's time to nurture it deeper within ourselves so it may bloom anew. The fountain teaches us that. Let the waters cleanse our souls and renew our spirits." As Mary nodded, the village felt a cascade of understanding wash over them. Each confession dug deep, revealing layers of insecurity, dreams, and hopes. Timmy added, "I want to be brave and strong. My heart feels heavy with uncertainty." His small voice proved that age mattered little in the grand reveal of truth. "Bravery isn't the absence of fear, it's stepping through it together," Sarah encouraged, and her words rang true with a harmony that resonated in every heart. The villagers joined in a chorus of affirmations, filling the night air with renewed energy. In that moment, the fountain seemed to pulse brighter, glimmering with an almost sentient awareness. It sang to them in ripples of clarity as the currents shimmered with possibility. "Let us make a pact," Sarah said, raising her hands above her head as if to capture the spirit of the universe. "Over the next days, let us gather not only for planting, but for sharing. Sharing our fears, our blessings, and our dreams. What if we made this a sacred ritual of reflection and love?" "Yes," the villagers echoed, enthusiasm lighting their expressions. A collective spark ignited in their hearts, a spark of intention to manifest the transformations they yearned for. But as they basked in their newfound commitment, beneath the surface of the fountain, a deeper mystery stirred, an energy waiting to be unveiled. What awaited them in this journey of deeper self-discovery? The stars seemed to shine brighter, whispering of the miraculous transformations to come. Would the fountain reveal secrets of divine abundance, love, and miracles they hadn't dared to dream of? What awaited them in the depths of their shared hearts? The night beckoned them into the next chapter of their awakening. The days rolled on like waves, each new dawn igniting hope and possibilities in the hearts of the villagers. They gathered at the fountain daily, sharing their insights and stories, their laughter stitching together threads of unity. Each moment together created a sanctuary, a spiritual refuge where vulnerability blossomed into courage. As Sarah watched the transformation unfold, the weight of past struggles seemed to lift from her spirit. The garden was thriving, a beautiful symbol of their collective growth. Yet, as the flowers bloomed, so did Sarah's intuition. She sensed that the fountain desired a deeper connection, a call for the villagers to delve even further into the divine abundance waiting for them. One evening, the sun dipped low, painting the horizon in shades of lavender and gold. Sarah gathered everyone again, the air crackling with anticipation. "Friends," she began, her heart racing with an indescribable energy. "We've nurtured dreams and shared our burdens, but what if the fountain is inviting us to experience a manifestation of miracles, to unlock a deeper abundance?" Hope radiated in the eyes of each villager, their spirits humming with possibility. "What do we need to do?" a voice called out from the crowd. "We need to dive deeper into our faith," Sarah replied, fervently gripping her hands together. "Let's each offer a prayer of gratitude and intention to the fountain, a collective heart offering to manifest love, miracles, and abundance for our community." The gentle rustling of leaves created a sacred backdrop as the villagers formed a circle around the fountain, hands clasped together, hearts united. "Let's create a new ritual," Sarah said, her voice rising with passionate conviction. "On this night, let's each express what we're grateful for, and in doing so, plant seeds of abundance in our hearts." One by one, they began to speak, each declaration a fragrant blossom of gratitude filling the air. Timmy, eyes shining bright, declared, "I'm thankful for my family and the chance to help others." Mrs. Thompson, her heart warmed by newfound connections, added, "I'm grateful for kindness. It has rekindled my spirit." Sarah felt a warmth envelop the group as they spoke, their words swirling with intention like the soft currents of the water. It was as if the fountain absorbed their expressions of gratitude and turned them into living prayers. As the last words faded, the water began to shimmer, morphing under the starlight into a dazzling iridescent display. Soft melodies hummed through the air, wrapping around the villagers like a sacred blanket. They gasped, witnessing the fountain transform into a radiant portal of light, a gateway to collective dreams. "Look," Timmy shouted, pointing toward the dancing waters. "It's showing us moments of love and joy." Suddenly, the fountain erupted in a glorious spectacle, vibrant colors swirling, revealing glimpses of the villagers' hidden desires, now manifested in their lives, children laughing, gardens overflowing with vegetables, families sharing meals, and arms joined in service. Tears of joy streamed uncontrollably down Sarah's cheeks as she understood. This was the tangible manifestation of their prayers, a powerful reminder of how far they had come together. "Together, we have unlocked the keys to divine abundance," she rejoiced. "Let's honor this moment. Let it ignite hope not just for us, but for all who cross our paths." As the villagers looked on in awe, they felt themselves wrapped in a wave of gratitude that surged around them, urging them to extend their newfound understanding to others in the village. They exchanged glances, clarity dawning. This was not just about them. It was about being vessels of change. In that sacred space, their dreams solidified into a defining mission, to spread love, abundance, and kindness within and beyond their community. "Let's remember," Sarah said, raising her hand to the heavens as the fountain's energies swirled around them. "When we unite in purpose and faith, nothing is impossible." The villagers echoed her fervor. With hearts ablaze, they understood that this journey was just the beginning. They vowed to create opportunities to share their blessings and help others unlock their own divine potential. As they returned to their homes that night, a miraculous energy soared within each villager. The beauty of their shared journey, pain turned to purpose, despair transformed into hope, illuminated their hearts for the world to see. What awaited them on this newfound path? With spirits soaring and hearts aligned, they ventured forth into a future bright with promise, determined to embrace the miraculous that awaited. And so it was that they planted seeds of love wide and deep, knowing that this journey, rooted in faith and connection, would yield abundance not just in their village, but rippling outward, a divine legacy of miracles. This is your divine opportunity. You need to subscribe now to our channel and never miss out on extraordinary faith stories like this. Leave a like right now to feed the algorithm and spread the message of hope. Comment below your reactions and testimonies about this transformative journey. Your words can inspire others. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. Together, let's illuminate the world with His love and miracles.